Hi, we're going to think about why is literacy development important? As the pillars of language and reading skills, literacy development is a crucial time in a child's life. Educators need to understand why literacy development is so important in order to effectively help children within each stage of their early literacy development. Here are just a few reasons early literacy development is important. Children with confident reading abilities typically struggle less with their studies and have a confident approach to their education. Strong literacy skills translate well into independent learning and encourage consistent growth in and out of the classroom. Literacy development affects the way students communicate and problem solve. Those with strong literacy skills usually have improved cognitive ability. Reading skills provide the foundation for academic success. From the beginning of school, students should be taught different ways of using language to help them learn and communicate about academic content. Effective teachers know their students and their individual learning needs. They use this knowledge and their understanding of how students develop from emergent to beginning to fluent readers and writers to guide their teaching. They use explicit instruction, they use guided practice, and they use authentic application. So our goal is to gain background knowledge, to understand what modeling good examples of reading and writing looks like, and what are tools to help students apply what they have learned. To prepare you to meet grade level standards and lead young students to become fluent readers and writers, that is the goal of our course. So what is explicit instruction? Explicit instruction is identify a clear, specific objective, break the information into chunks, model with clear explanations, verbalize the thinking process, provide opportunities to practice, and give feedback. Explicit instruction is a way to teach in a direct, structured way. When teachers use explicit instruction, they make lessons crystal clear. They show kids how to start and succeed on a task. They also give kids plenty of feedback and chances to practice. Think about a time when you tried to follow a new recipe, only to find that a step is missing or unclear. You may have been able to guess what to do next, but without explicit instructions, you may have added the wrong ingredient or stopped cooking the dish altogether. The same thing can happen when kids learn something new. Some can make inferences to figure out the next steps or to work through the unknown, but for kids who learn and think differently, one unclear direction or having too many things to remember can be a deal breaker. That's where explicit instruction comes in. It can be used with students of all ages, and it can be taught with a whole class, a small group of students, or one student at a time. What is guided practice? Guided reading and writing are instructional practices in which teachers can reteach or reinforce a specific skill or strategy with a group of students who have similar needs. Guided reading includes allowing students to practice reading silently before discussing or reading aloud to the group, providing an environment where students can work towards independence with support and feedback. Students choose texts that specifically meet the needs of them as a learner. Guided reading includes creating flexible groups as needed. Guiding writing includes providing an environment where students can work towards independence with support and feedback. It includes choosing objectives that specifically meets the needs of the learner, using other texts as models, professionally authored teacher created or student created text. And guided writing includes creating flexible groups as needed. Guided practice. So here we have the definition, a teaching practice pioneered by Barbara Rogoff. It involves 3 steps for practicing new skills in the classroom. The teacher models how to do a task, the student does the task with guidance, and then the student practices the task independently. It's the I do, we do, you do method, which is a good example of guided practice, a 3-step model. What is authentic application? Authentic application are tasks given to students in the real world where they can apply what they learned in class and continue to learn more in a setting that is relevant to them. Authentic application for writing could be actually writing a letter to a person that you know, creating your own story about an experience that you have recently done. For students to achieve maximum progression in their learning, Vygotsky proposed that students should learn alongside a more knowledgeable other. A more knowledgeable other can be a teacher, a parent, or a classmate. The MKO should simply be someone, right? The MKO is the more knowledgeable other, should simply be someone who can provide assistance like prompting, modeling, explaining, and suggesting. It keeps the learner on the path towards achieving their educational goals. So what is guided practice? Here's another graph that shows you an approach to educational instruction based on the social cultural theory of learning and teaching. It involves the use of teacher guidance and facilitation that is gradually released as students develop competence with a task or a skill. Our text states on page 4 that effective teachers are the key to ensuring that students learn to read and write successfully. Most researchers agree that teacher quality is the most important factor in determining how well students learn. Teachers need to be knowledgeable about how students learn to read and write, and how to teach literacy and how to respond to the needs of those learning English as a new language. And that's what we will be focusing in our course this quarter. You becoming that effective teacher to be able to instruct all the children in your class depending on their skill level, reading and writing. See you online.